Starts launch trajectory and countdown. Pad is clear.
10, 9, 8.
Launch auto sequence has started.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Go for launch.
Vehicle is supersonic. Stage separation confirmed. Dragon, separation confirmed. Stage 1 is transonic. Landing legs have deployed. And Falcon 9 has landed.
To our live launch coverage of the IS-40e and Tempo mission for our customer, Intelsat. Today's launch marks our 222nd overall SpaceX mission to date and our 23rd launch this year. My name is Kate Tice, Quality Systems Engineering Manager here at SpaceX, and I'm joining you today from SpaceX headquarters in Hawthorne, California. We have a pretty unique payload on board the second stage tonight. IS-40e is a geosynchronous communication satellite that will provide coverage over North America for Intelsat's commercial aviation, mobility, and network service customers. Attached to IS-40e is NASA's Tropospheric Emissions Monitoring Pollution, or TEMPO, instrument. Operated by Intelsat, TEMPO is a partnership between NASA and the Smithsonian Institution's Smithsonian Astrophysical Observatory and will improve life on Earth by revolutionizing the way scientists observe air quality. It will also be the first space-based instrument to monitor and track air pollution across North America on an hourly basis and report observations during the day. The satellite is scheduled to enter into... We heard that call a little bit ago for the ground closeouts. We'll now see some more of that liquid oxygen venting from the TE as those lines are now closed out to the vehicle.
Falcon 9 is in startup.
All right, there's that call out letting us know that the onboard flight computers have taken control of the launch countdown.
LD, go for launch.
And there's our final go for launch tonight coming from our launch director. We're now at T minus 35 seconds. All systems are go for launch of Falcon 9 with the Intelsat 40E and NASA
30 seconds.
And the NASA Smithsonian Tempo payload. Let's listen in to the terminal count.
$15 seconds. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition, engines full power, and lift off of Intelsat 40E. Go Intelsat, go Falcon. Vehicle is pitching downrange. M1D chamber pressure nominal.
If you're just joining us, those gorgeous views on your screen mean that Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Pad 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. During
Nominal power and telemetry.
The call out there that nominal power and telemetry for the vehicle. During this phase, which is called ascent, we tilt the engines. The technical term for this is called gimbaling, and that turns the rocket horizontally in what we call a gravity turn.
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
There's a call out that Falcon 9 is now traveling faster than the speed of sound. During this period, we're still going up, but we're also heading horizontally away from the launch pad.
Max Q.
Just moments ago, we throttled down in preparation for max Q, which is the period of maximum aerodynamic pressure that the vehicle will see on ascent. So that's what's happening right now. The rocket typically needs to go about 17,500 miles per hour horizontally in order to avoid being pulled back to Earth and reach orbit. Now we're going to have 3 events coming up in quick succession, starting with main engine cutoff, stage separation, and second engine start 1. Main engine.
We perform that reentry burn in order to slow down the booster, which helps to reduce those reentry forces that it sees, and in turn, that helps us recover and reuse our first stages.
Both vehicles continue to follow nominal trajectories.
Although we can't see the first stage right now, you can follow along with the telemetry there in the bottom left-hand corner for stage 1, and then that stage 2 telemetry there in the right-hand bottom corner of your screen. We can see that the first stage is now beginning its descent back to Earth, so it has already passed through its apogee, making its way back down. This time we're targeting a landing on our drone ship, which is parked a couple hundred miles off the coast of Florida in the Atlantic Ocean. Now, during that entry burn, Falcon 9 is decelerating by firing its Merlin engines, but it's still moving very rapidly. This causes the vehicle to fly through Merlin's exhaust gases, also known as the rocket's plume, and by doing so, we get a deposit of soot on the vehicle surface. That soot then basically comes from the carbon-based fuel that Falcon 9 uses. We're expecting that entry burn to begin in about 20 seconds. Everything continues to look good there. For that second stage, we can see that MVAC engine, which is the singular Merlin engine designed for use in the vacuum of space, attached there to our second stage.
Stage 1, entry burn, startup.
Stage 1 FTS is saved.
All right, so there on that left-hand side of your screen, those stage 1 views are back. We can see that entry burn has begun, and it's also illuminating the grid fins, which help to steer the booster for re-entry and also to make a precise landing.
Stage 1, entry burn, shut down.
All right, we can see that entry burn has concluded.
Both vehicles continue to follow nominal trajectories.
As a reminder, the first stage that we saw there on the left-hand side of your screen, that performed the entry burn for the 4th time. It previously supported CRS-26, OneWeb Launch 16, and a Starlink mission. Falcon 9 is the world's first orbital-class reusable rocket, and this is important because reusability allows SpaceX to refly the most expensive parts of the rocket, which in turn drives down the cost of space access.
Terminal guidance.
The next major milestone we have.
On landing burn.
You can see landing burn has begun there on that screen.
Stage 2 FTS is saved.
You can see those grid fins working hard to steer it back to the drone ship for its landing.
Nominal orbit insertion.
Great call out there indicating we've got...
Stage 1, landing leg deploy. Stage 1, landing confirmed.
There you can see on your screen an amazing view as always. That landing marks SpaceX's 184th recovery of an orbital class rocket, including first stage landings for Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy. The mission isn't over just yet. We did hear the call out telling us that the second stage achieved good orbit, so it is now embarking on its first coast phase. After this coast phase, we will light that MVAC engine for a second time, and that will happen around the T+26 minute mark. So hang tight. We'll see you back here in about 15 minutes.